Welcome to another flip video lesson with Mr. Volkman. We'll be doing our flip video lesson based upon chapter 10.6. This will be the final video we have on the Bill of Rights. So, with that said, today's video will be about the 9th and 10th Amendments, and I've titled this one as Relationship Between Federal Government, State Governments, and Citizens. Let's begin, shall we? And as always, let's take a moment and actually read through the 9th Amendment so you guys know exactly what it says. Please follow along. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. If you're giving this face right now, you're probably confused. I'm confused just by reading that. So let's actually dig a little deeper into what these words mean, because I'm sure you need some help. The amendment is all about rights that are unsaid in the Constitution. First, let's do a little bit of background, going back, all the way back to when the Constitution was being ratified. Remember, there were two groups. You had the Anti-Federalists, who did not want the Constitution ratified because they felt that there needed to be a list of rights for the citizens. You then had the Federalists, who felt that the Constitution was enough. It showed the rights of the citizens. The Federalists also felt that there were too many rights to list or cover. And they felt that the rights that were not put in this list could be limited by the government. For example, our right to privacy is not one that's actually said in the Constitution. So if we think like a Federalist thought, we could say that, well, since privacy is not listed in the Constitution, the government can slowly take our privacy away, which was a word that they had if we started a list. I want you to take a moment and pause the video, and I want you to read through this cartoon, and it's kind of goofy, but to be honest, it's a great cartoon that shows this argument, this disagreement between the two groups. Hopefully you pause the video as I paused myself in case you decided not to. Now, some good examples of these unsaid rights, first off, would be the right to privacy. This is not stated outright in the Constitution. However, the right to privacy, like a number of other rights, can be inferred through rights that are given us, such as the First Amendment, Third, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment. I'm going to give you the opportunity for some extra credit here, folks. If you can email me how a right to privacy is kind of shown through the First, Third, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment, I will give you extra credit. So you can just email it to me or on a piece of paper, jot down your thoughts and give it to me in class tomorrow. Now, this fun little comic here shows a couple of the examples of rights that we have that aren't listed in the Constitution, such as the right to choose your job and the right to get married. So those are just some of the rights that we have that aren't covered in the Constitution. Moving on to the 10th Amendment. Let's read what it says. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. This one makes a little more sense than the 9th Amendment, but if you're like me, when I first read it, I kind of scratched my chin and scratched my head, not fully understanding what right I've been given. So the 10th Amendment was created to protect states from federal government power run amok. Kind of like Godzilla right here, going crazy. You see, the federal government's powers are only those listed in the Constitution. And that's what the 10th Amendment reminds us. So I'm going to say that again, because it's really important. You may want to write this down. Kind of wish they had an amendment against bills interrupting teachers. I'd vote for that. Anyways, the federal government's powers are only those listed in the Constitution. They cannot take any other power outside that document. In mind, and with the words from the 10th Amendment, we have something called the Reserved Powers Clause. And this refers to what the states can do. So powers that are not given specifically to the federal government and powers that aren't kept away from states are powers that the states can do. For example, policies on giving driver's licenses. Nothing is said in the Bill of Rights or in the Constitution about giving people driver's license. So the states are in charge of that. Road signs. There is nothing in the Constitution about how to do road signs. So the states get to do it. How to run your fire department. Again, nothing is said in the Constitution about the fire department. So states can do it. Kind of a fun game, right? Huh? How about this one, kids? I know I'm getting carried away with that. The big thing to remember again, though, is anything that's not said in the Constitution is a right that the states or the people have. Well, thank you for once again watching this flip video. Again, this was the last one for our Bill of Rights chapter. Please check Edmodo for any questions. And don't forget, if you want extra credit, please make sure you are taking notes or filling out an outline on this video. See you in class tomorrow.